Hello and welcome back to Eco Socialist. So, as many of you know, I work as a part-time cleaner, so I thought you guys would be interested in what eco cleaning products that I use, hence me sitting on my kitchen floor in front of my under-sink cupboard today in my gym jams. It's Sunday, he is loud, unless you're popping to your local market or cafe. Then close. Yeah. So, bit of a disclaimer here. I don't expect any of you guys to be completely perfect when it comes to sort of everything. It's all a learning curve, and we're all sort of constantly learning and evolving. So what works for me in my house, flat, might not work for you guys. So as well as I'm still learning as I go along, but I have certain preferences because I'm very much used to using those cleaning chemicals that I work with. So I'm used to sort of diluting chemicals and things like that at work, and have them work very well. So right, so I'll get into it before I start babbling again. This is the contents of my under-sink cupboard. It's not the most pretty cupboard, but you know, most of us have these chock-a-block. I think I'm doing quite well. Right, so I'll start from this side. These bottles I used to use to make my own cashew milk because you didn't have as much leftovers. Now I find that I'm storing things like sort of sometimes vinegar and sometimes my washing liquids and things like that I now get concentrates of. They've become very handy, but I've learnt the hard way that when I was making my milk, I didn't need to buy these. I could have used jars and saved myself a lot of money. Right, moving on. This is one of the leftover pumps on one of my very large cleaning products that I used to have. So this one came out of my Eco Leaf washing up liquid that I bought at the beginning of last year, and now it's all used up. So I decided at the beginning of last year that, you know, what's the point of me buying single bottles anymore? I don't have refill shops near me. Is there a better, more eco-friendly way of doing it? Yep, it still came in plastic, but it was a lot less plastic. And Eco Leaf, I found, was a lot more ethical a company than using Ecover, which you can get in sort of most supermarkets and things. And by buying it in a really big bottle, it meant that I wasn't ordering single bottles online, and I was just reusing my old Ecover bottle. Yeah, it's really disappointing that Ecover aren't as ethical as they sort of push themselves to be. But yeah, that can be another video. Anyway, got this going spare. I'm not really quite sure what to do with it. I might pass it on to a friend that maybe sort of has decided to buy in bulk cleaning stuff, but that's there for the time being because I don't want to throw it away. Plant food, not really cleaning stuff, but most of the time I actually dilute my the liquid that comes off my bokashi bin to use for my herbs that I grow on the windowsill. Yeah, because obviously living in a flat, the sun's just come out, I don't have a garden, so that's how I sort of cut down on a little bit of plastic waste and things by growing my own herbs in window boxes on the windowsills. And I do get quite a lot of sun, which is good. So anyway, right, candle. I don't burn it because I'm not supposed to burn candles in my flat, but it's there because I like the smell of it. Rippy drawer thing that I kind of regret buying, and I can't even use it for rugs, so that's there because I'm not quite sure what to do with it, and if I dispose of it, you know, there's no way. I have my two staples here, big bottle of lavender oil and a big bottle of tea tree oil. I use these for lots of different things. I combine them, about 5 drops of each in a trigger spray bottle with some water, and I use that as an air freshener in my bathroom, and that works really well because it's not only sort of neutralising smells, it's naturally antibacterial as well. So that really works, and I use them a couple of drops in a drawer when I'm washing stuff that I can't wash with fabric softener. So sort of absorbent stuff like cleaning cloths, towels and things like that. Things that sort of you don't use fabric softener for because it affects the absorbency of them. So yeah, very useful. I have these little measuring cups that I use for, well, this one's an old top to an Ecover washing liquid bottle. I find them useful for accurately measuring out my washing liquid and bits and pieces for washing, so that I'm not using too much, because sometimes we put too much in when we don't actually need to, and I actually suffer with eczema, so residue washing liquid is a no-go for sort of me or my partner, actually, because he has eczema as well, so we keep on top of that So proper measuring, really essential, saving money as well. You'd be surprised. And that one at the back as well, I used to use for my Ecover washing powder, which I liked, but the packaging wasn't ideal. And this jug I keep to water my houseplants. But it's really grotty, but again, if you throw it away in the bin, there's no way, so you may as well use what you got. Okay, moving along to some of my spray bottles and cleaning products. You can't see it, but oh, possibly you can. Glass cleaner, and I've used these bottles and reused them over about 3 years now, so they've had a good life, these ones, and I actually really like the fact that they have measurements down the side. So I'm a bit of a stickler for a decent sort of accurate dilution rate, because of obviously cleaning is my line of work. So this one is Sploshes glass cleaner, which is a concentrate, and you can get the dilution rates on their website, but they also sell bottles that you can reuse. They send you them full to begin with, because, you know, what's the point in sending an empty bottle, to be honest? And then you can buy the concentrates from them, and that's what I do with my glass cleaner. And I must admit, you don't really need a glass cleaner, because if you keep on top of it a water spray and just one of those rubber squeegee things works an absolute treat. And newspaper, if you still get newspaper, is great for just giving it a bit of a shine up. Same with mirrors. So great, but not necessary. Yeah. Oh, got that these. Now, not the most eco-friendly or natural, but I still use a plug-in air freshener. I don't like this one. I've had this one for about 2 years, and it only gets plugged in at sort of like Yule time. So don't like it. Only switch it on when I'm feeling slightly festive. Thought I'd like it more than I did, but I've got it now, and if I throw it away, there's no way. So moving on. This one is the cotton one, which I think is one of their more natural ones. And the one I've got in at the minute is their orange smell neutralizer, but I only have it on the very lowest setting possible. Now I've read that you can refill these, but I think it's a little bit dodgy, sort of playing with sort of electric and oils and things. And until I've looked into it a lot more, I'm gonna kind of stick to these because these last me years and not months usually. So I've got my collection of what I use at the minute, splosh wise. I really like their kitchen cleaner. Yeah, as you can see, they have a fill line, and that's how much water you put in, and then you fill it up to the top with their concentrate, which I think is great because, like I said, I'm a stickler for an accurate sort of dilution rate, and these bottles you can all reuse. And this one's the bathroom one. Now there was reviews for the bathroom one on their website that weren't so great, but I actually really quite like the smell. Watermelon and mint, I think, this one, which is a bit unusual, not something that I've ever smelled in a sort of cleaning product, but it really does the job well. So in the past I've used vinegar and water, a 50-50 sort of solution, and I really like that for a bathroom cleaner because it's been good on sort of like glass and things like that, but weighing up the kind of eco cost of it, I was leaning towards buying the sort of glass bottles because I was thinking, oh, they can be recycled time and time again, but glass actually sort of, when you add in the transport sort of costs with the weight of it to the carbon footprint of it, it's not as good, and you don't get as much out of that bottle because it's not concentrated as much as those. So I switched over to those. I still have a little bit of vinegar and water left, and with the vinegar and water, because I grow my own herbs, I used to keep a jar of straight vinegar, and I used to put the herbs in and infuse that vinegar, so it didn't have as strong a vinegar smell, and I actually really got used to the smell, and I really liked it actually. So, you know, if you've got access to cheap vinegar, it could be an option for you, and if you've got sort of like herbs in your garden, or you can grow them on your windowsills like I do, it can be a viable option as like a multi-surface one, but I didn't find it worked well for all of my surfaces, and particular about that as a cleaner sort of by trade. So vinegar, lovely, love it in the bathroom, but make up your own mind. I'm still learning what works for me. Right, in the bathroom I also use, I'm using an Eco-Leaf toilet cleaner as well, but I'm not finding it's really helping that much because of me sort of living in quite a hard water area. So about once a week I will use some citric acid in the toilet to sort of get rid of the limescale build-up, and that's worked for me quite well, and I can get that in a cardboard box quite often. So I wouldn't recommend completely the Eco-Leaf toilet cleaner, but like I said before, there's no way, so I'm working my way through this big fella here. Ooh. Be doing that a little bit quicker now. And yeah, because there's no gone really. So using what you've got is more eco-friendly. Right, and Splosh, talking about their sort of concentrates and things. These are the packets that they come in, and they just post them through your letterbox. So this one's one for the kitchen cleaner, which is clementine and lemon. It's lovely, lovely smell. Glass cleaner is fragrance free, because if you put any sort of amount of additives in, you get a more streaky finish. So fragrance free. And washing up liquid, we've got their lime one at the minute, and I've actually got their bottle because mine started getting a bit raggedy. So that's their bottle, and again it's got a fill line, so you fill it to there with water, and then you fill it up to the top with the concentrate, which is actually really quite good for washing up liquid. So it's less water being transported. I'll open up one of these so you can see what the packet looks like. This one's the one for the glass cleaner, so it just looks like this. They've got sort of like the instructions on the back, and it's very straightforward, and you can send the packets back to them and they recycle them. Now I think they're going to be sort of recycling them into like cleaning products, well, cleaning sort of bits and pieces, a bit like sort of squeegees and sort of window scrapers and things like that. So it'll turn into a kind of something closer to a closed loop sort of recycling system. Well, better than sort of buying eco products anyway. And yeah, when you first sort of order, you get sort of this booklet sent to you. They do shower gels and things as well, but we're not talking about bathroom at the minute, so I will move on. And yeah, this is how I store the non-bio one, which I found is actually really quite good. And again, reusing my bottle that I used to use for milk for the bio one. The bio one I use for my partner's work clothes and socks. And even though I actually have an eco setting on my washing machine that washes at 20, they do not get, that does not go anywhere close to getting the smell out of my partner's socks. So it is 30 for the sort of pretty much all my laundry. Unless sort of there's a sort of yeast infection or fungal infection sort of in the house, then it goes sort of like a 60 to kill that all off. I'm still reusing sort of one of my Ecova bottles for the Ecoleaf fabric softener. Again, I wouldn't recommend Ecova as a sort of company. They're just sort of, yeah, just wouldn't. And I actually stopped buying washing soda, or yeah, because it came in plastic. And I was actually sort of using quite a bit of it because I was using it with my Ecova washing powder because of the hard water in my area. And I really liked it, but it came in plastic, and I was thinking, can I sort of, you know, switch this up for something a little bit better? And when I was in another shop, when I was visiting a family member, and I was stocking up on bicarb, which I use as a washing additive as well, I came across an oxygen bleach by the same company, and it says that it helps prevent limescale and, you know, all that jazz that sort of adding bleach to your wash would do, but kind of to the environment. So I've been using this for a little while. It's actually been alright. It hasn't even touched any of my partner's deodorant stains. I'm still sort of working on trying to find an eco-friendly stain remover for those to save his white shirts or t-shirts. It doesn't bother him, but it bothers me a lot. Right, moving on very quickly because this is going to end up as a long video again. My cleaning brushes! Right, I am slowly phasing away from the plastic bottle brush, but because I use reusable bottles and things, these were a must at the time, but I didn't know there was a better alternative, so I'm using these until they aren't practically usable anymore. So I've got them for my reusable straws as well. Shamefully plastic, but I'm trying to move on to these. But this doesn't work for all of my bottles because of the thick handle, so I'd love to find a bottle brush that's natural, that doesn't have the really thick handle, but this really works for sort of, you know, those awkward shaped jars and things that you're sort of washing out, and the rim underneath the jars. It's really helpful for that. Okay, and I've got my replaceable washing up brush head thing that my partner prefers to use this to a cotton cloth. I like using a cotton cloth because I can sort of wash it in the washing machine sort of after it's been used. But he likes this because he's got very sensitive hands. He doesn't like having his hands in a bowl of hot water. But I wear gloves, so it doesn't bother me that much. But these you can get reusable heads, and this is actually sort of not plastic bristles. These are made of a kind of biodegradable plant fibre or something like that, so on the website. But yeah, I've got another spare in my cupboard, so they last a long time, and unlike the plastic bristled ones, they don't shrivel and die when you are scrubbing something that you've soaked with boiling water. You can actually scrub it with this brush, so really great, actually, value for money considering. And yeah, it doesn't look perfect because it's used. It's not for show. Right. We don't use kitchen towel. We use the original kitchen towel. We just have a lot of them that we wash each week, and they get used for drying surfaces and any spillages that happens. Original kitchen towel. Right. Oh, and in our last flat we had a little bit of a damp problem, so I started storing a lot of our cleaning stuff in glass jars to keep the damp out. This one I found in a charity shop and love it. I wish I had a set or something of that, but you know, you use what you can find and what you got. And I've got a little sort of scoop in there that I don't particularly use for sort of cooking or anything anymore, but it's a really good size for sort of dosing in the pre-wash drawer of my washing machine. So this goes in if I need a little bit of a boost. It's handy. Right, we use a very small bin, so I get biodegradable, what you would use to line your compost caddies type with. So they're about 30 litre, and we only empty our rubbish bin about once every couple of weeks, depending on if my partner has put bones or something in the bin, because we don't put bones in the bukkake bin, although you can, but we don't. So depending on that. Oh, and I have a cute mug that I actually store it in so that it doesn't get damp on the floor, which a lovely friend got for me, but it chipped on the side, so I can't use it to drink out of. but it was a gift when I sort of moved back to my home county. So I'm still using it, still love it. Use what you got. Oh, this, I'm not quite sure whether it works, but it's supposed to help with sort of limescale and things. So I put it in the wash in hopes that it does something, basically. Jury's out. Oh, I'm talking about my bokashi bin. Actually, my laptop is resting on top of my full bokashi bin at the minute, and my other one is on the go on the countertop at the minute. This I use to press down the stuff to get all that oxygen out when I'm putting more stuff in my bokashi bin, because the plastic one that goes with it it's so disposably sort of badly made. So this one I had for a while and it's a little bit weak on the handle. So we have another one that we use for mash. My partner's a bit of a potato fiend. So yeah, we have a very decent masher now, and this one just gets used for the bokashi bin. Right, and washing up gloves wise, I started using these ones, which are made by If You Care, and they're fair trade rubber. I haven't found that these last as long as the heavy duty gloves that you just get in the supermarket, to be honest, and you really need to be careful that you dry these every time you finish washing up for these to last you sort of any amount of time. But I do like the fact that they are an ethical company, and these will biodegrade once they are of no use. Now I've still got a hoard of stuff that I use very occasionally. Like I keep in this bucket here. I've got a spare spray trigger head, because sometimes those come in handy. Small size of washing up gloves, because you never know when your sort of children might want to help out. Can live in hope sometimes, but my daughter's quite good when she's sort of with us. If I need a hand, she's very helpful. Now this is supposed to be a biodegradable sponge. I bought it from a department store that's local to me, but it breaks up so easily that it's annoying, and I only really have this as a backup for people that don't like using cloths in my cupboard. So I have backup matches just in case, another thing of caddy liners, sugar soap concentrate. Now I've had this for absolutely years and it doesn't get used, but it's there really just in case I want to do any painting, and I have sort of restored furniture and things in the past as a voluntary thing, so that's very useful for doing that sort of stuff with. Maintenance spray, I use my bike a lot to get to work. This one I feel guilty about having still, but I've had it for about 4 years. 4 years, and it only gets used on my dining table if I have guests coming round. So we don't have that many guests coming round for dinner, so it's still going strong. And I don't think I'll replace it once it's gone, but we still have it. And again, there's no way when you chuck something. Lighter fuel, just a few of the other basics in here. Oh, spare brush head. Got a little bit bent, but that's how the new one looks compared to the one that's already on the brush. And that's the company, if you can see it. Scrubby thing. Now my partner actually bought these over, but I don't use them unless I'm getting really annoyed with the way that my Pyrex is looking, because they're very scratchy, I find. I think that's pretty much everything. This one's carpet foam. I don't use it, we don't have carpets, but I lived in I rented a room for a while, and the carpet absolutely stunk. So that's when this got used, and it didn't help. It made the carpet smell even more, but I have it, and like I said, there's no way when you chuck something in the bin, especially when it's full still. So this, if anyone I know wants it or might be useful to them, it's in my cupboard hanging around, just ask for it. So that is all my cleaning stuff. I've got a bag of compost in there as well, a little mini one, for just sort of like topping up the tops of my plants pots, because you sort of have to keep on top of that occasionally, because you've got no worms in the soil when you're doing pot plants indoors, so that's useful. But oh, one thing I forgot, what I use to sweep with, and it is literally just a broom. This I got from my local market. I'm very lucky to actually be able to find it locally. And I have a wooden, scraggly looking mop with cotton into it. And when this kind of gets too rough, I'll replace the end bit. That's about it. And my cast iron bucket. I love it. It's very vintagey looking. And I also have a washing up bar that I use with my, that looks really gross in the bottom, but yes, it gets used. It's not perfect, and neither is my home, to be honest, because I live live and my home is well lived in. So this is the washing up bar, which I mainly only use if I'm washing up just a cup or something, or a teaspoon. I'll use the scrubby brush and just damp it on this and then sort of scrub it around. Sometimes I'll use it on like lunch boxes and things that I just need to sort of wash and go with, but it's quite useful and will last me probably a year, if not more, and you know, hardly any packaging came with it. I think it was from an SD site, which was called Little Fox. And when they sent me it, they actually sent me a little sort of free sample of their chef bar as well, which smells lovely. I wish I'd gone for the chef bar because it's got that kind of lemony smell that you kind of associate with sort of cleaning products. So yeah, that's Little Fox, and yeah, that was from SD, so that was plastic free. Lovely packaging, no plastic in sight, and I love what a lovely sort of selection of soaps. I wish I could use sort of like soap on my skin, but again, with the eczema, it's a bit of an issue because a lot of the time when they say moisturising, it's not. So anyway, this has gone on a long time, and I said to myself I would not do long videos again because they're a pain in the bum to load on YouTube. So I'm going to say goodbye, and just remember that we all deserve to live in an equal society where we are all equally valued and our planet is respected within that. And just remember, none of us are perfect, we're all working towards reducing, so I have no judgment towards you guys. We're all doing our best. Right.